We're live. We are live. How exciting is this? We're live.
Very.
The day has started officially. It's so great to be here with everybody. And Michael, and for anybody watching or seeing this, we're still running through some logistics here as we kind of get together. And so, Michael, did you see the broadcast to Facebook thing?
I have it now. I'm sharing a group.
All right. It shouldn't be a group. It should be a page that you manage.
A page. I see event. Oh, there we go. I got it now.
Okay.
And I click on next.
Yep.
Next is grayed out.
Can you pick a page?
I can't because next is grayed out.
You want to make me the host?
Yeah, I want to leave and let you do it.
And then I'll hand it back over to you. Isn't this fun getting to see the behind the scenes of what we're doing? Oh, now I am the host, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I just do live on Facebook, and it's going to bring me to a different window. Go live on Facebook, and let's see where it's going to give me. Sorry about this, folks. Flag Guy, Cassie, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? How about that?
Well, this is a good opportunity to thank you for bringing us all together for this.
Yeah.
What an experience, right?
Indeed.
You know, it's kind of funny when we start talking about like who's bringing us together, right? Because I really find this is an interesting dialogue because it really, in a community, this is how I define the definition between community and network, right? Mm-hmm. Networks are all based upon how things happen in the relationship upon relationship. Community, it doesn't matter who we know, how we got connected, it matters why we're here. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, the essence of what Connected Educator Appreciation Day is all about.
Yeah. Indeed. Oh, cool. Ian's here. Cool.
Yeah, Ian is watching us.
All right, we are live on Facebook now. So
That's weird.
I need to make sure. Oh, wait, we're not live yet. I need to.
It's live on Facebook though.
Well, Ian saw us somewhere. Ian, where are you watching us?
Oh, this is fun. It's like very meta for me.
Always learning, huh? Always learning.
It's so fun.
Zoom. He says it is in Zoom.
Okay, now I'm going live. It says it looks like we're doing it. I'm going to have to. The good thing I'm not going to be on air for any of the other sessions except the wrap-up session because I can do all this in the background and people won't be laughing quite as hard. And at least it's good that I'm laughing at myself, right? So and. Ian's here. Hi, Ian. Great to. It's so exciting. So I think we should just start. We got about 25 minutes before we officially kick off with our 8 hours of sessions, and we have some amazing.
24.
It's so amazing. Like all the people from around the globe. We have all but Antarctica representing Connected Educator Appreciation Day from every continent except Antarctica. And if there is a teacher or educator down in Antarctica that's hearing this and will jump on today, we are going to make it happen, and we will get the truly a global event here. So if you know anybody in Antarctica, send them a message, get them here, and let's make it happen. So, but the essence of Connected Educator Appreciation Day is truly to come together, celebrate all the connected educators out there, regardless of what level you are in connectivity. And I think that's the beautiful thing is a lot of our panelists and hosts that we're going to have are very experienced, very knowledgeable, and very connected educators. But the thing that I loved in working with this group of faces that you see here is that all of us shared the same idea and the same purpose that this is the future. This is what's happening now, but it's also what's going to be happening in the future. And the people that are not connected yet, or just starting to get connected, or thinking about connected, this is the opportunity that we want to provide in a safe space that's non-threatening, that's with your peers, that everybody that came together today, that you're going to see, that you're going to hear, that you're going to learn from. it's all because they want to share what they've gone through, their journey, what they've learned, and be there to help you. And our goal is to hopefully have you form connections, that you resonate with the few people that you see in here, that you connect with them on Twitter, on Facebook, and you stay connected with them and keep learning and keep sharing. And the whole goal of this is because we know that when we give to others, you're going to end up giving to somebody else down the road. And that's the beautiful thing about a community. And I think what I've learned and who I've met in this education field, because I'm not an educator, I'm a community builder. And that's what I'm learning, right? That's what I'm learning from all of you, is just how giving and sharing you all are with each other. So thank you for allowing me to be a small part. I'm talking now because I'm not going to talk really for the next 8 hours on camera. So, and I'm just going to throw it over to, to one of you. Let's say, Vladka, why don't you start, because I know you got the first session, so you and I are going to be ducking out, but why don't you just share a little bit of, your thoughts and a little bit about you.
Well, welcome everyone to the first ever live streaming of Connected Educators Appreciation Day. This is just overwhelming, very, very exciting. I'm looking at the faces at the screen that I didn't know just only a few months ago, and now the level of the connection, the friendship, the learning that we've exchanged in the last few months is that's beyond any of my expectation. Cassie and I met through Change Global. Deb Atchison introduced us to one another, and we just clicked immediately. I've learned from Cassie so much about organizing and tech. For instance, technology is a new thing to me. People are not used to communicating this way in Croatia, not as much, not as they should. So that was I'm open to learning, but I didn't know how to do that globally. So Cassie was the crucial element to make that happen for me. And then just Michael jumped in, and William Jenkins was wonderful to introduce you to me. And just one thing led to another. The swiftness of the change that this makes possible I think this is faster than anything else in my learning, professional development, professional growth. I love it. I'm loving every minute of it.
It is really, truly amazing. I think when we think about what's possible from an idea that maybe was planted a few years ago by William, and maybe was talked about and kind of discussed in length for quite a while with him and Andrea Tolley, but it was just to see, once the right people came together, what's possible and what can happen. And many people might be looking and saying, what's in this for us? And it's not that we're getting paid for this. It's not that we did this as a business venture. It's that we did this because this is what we're passionate about. It's about that we're bringing people together. We're wanting to help people. We're wanting to learn from other people. We're wanting to grow ourselves. And that's what this day is all about. And it can't happen when you don't have the right people and the right purpose, shared purpose with each other. But when you do, it's like Vladka said, a couple months ago, we didn't have a website. We didn't have any social media accounts. We didn't have really the idea other than, hey, let's do a virtual event. And we didn't know what it would look like. We didn't know who was going to get involved. We didn't know anything. And to sit here today and see over 40 people that are going to be on air, to see over 30 people that are helping promote this on social media, and to see everybody doing it from all corners of the globe is just phenomenal. So Cassie, why don't you jump in and tell us a little bit about you and what you're thinking about today?
Okay, so yeah, kind of like Vladka said, so we met through EdChange Global, and I also met Michael through EdChange Global as well, with connections from William, so thank you for that. And I'm going to be 1000% honest with everyone. So for EdChange Global, when we plan, we start months and months and months in advance. Like, we're already looking for next year, and it's nowhere near time for that event. all that being said, in July, I think, is whenever we all started connecting as a team to host this event. And they're like, maybe we'll do it in September. And I was like, that's like 2 months away. What are you talking about? And now it's October, and this has been pulled together by this amazing team, Vladka, Tim, and Michael, and all of your hard work and effort. And I'm just like in awe of everything that you guys have done to put this together. And I know that I'm just giving you kudos because I know what it takes to put something like this together. And, you know, to see it come together so fast and to see so much excitement out there from so many people, like you were mentioning, Tim, from all over. Like, it's just incredible to see it. And now everyone gets to just see all the hard work that's been put into this by this team, but everyone else as well who's sharing, you know, just kind of enjoying it and basking in this connectedness that will come today. And I hope you guys just soak it in, because it's going to be a day that you won't forget, and you'll friendships and build relationships and learn so much today. So pace yourself, but enjoy it. And like I said, thank you guys so much on this team for including me, and I look forward to just being on social media, sharing it out all day long. So it's exciting to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And you bring up something that I should have done maybe at the beginning, but never too late is kind of logistics for today, right? We all know it. I have this favorite thing that this is why I love video, because we can do like little props too, right? So I have this little piece of art that says, you can't read the label of the jar you're in. And what happens is when you get so immersed in organizing an event, and we have internal discussions that none of you have seen about how this is going to work, you know, what the format's going to be, we sometimes forget that people are seeing us for the first time or going, this sounds great. What is it? How do I participate? How do I join in? And so let me explain that to you. We are, depending on where you're seeing this right now, you could be watching us directly on Zoom, which is the platform that we're going to use today. It just made sense for us to make it public and recordable and shareable later. It's not that they're a sponsor or anything. It's just, this is the platform that we're using. So you can watch us here on Zoom. We are actually taking and sharing this stream for each session, including this one, to our Facebook page at Connected Educator Appreciation Day. So if you prefer not to be on Zoom and want to go watch on Facebook, you can watch us over there. And we will be sharing the links on Twitter. So you might be seeing a link and then coming in and signing up for Zoom to watch us here. Each hour has a unique link. And if you go to our Twitter account, which is CEduAD, and look at our pinned tweet there, you will see that there is a link, a thread with links to each session today that we are hosting. And if you click on that link at any time, starting right now, you can go there, click on that link, and simply register with your name and email. Why do you want to do that? Well, one, it will give you a reminder with your link to come watch that session when it happens. You don't have to sign up for all of them. You can sign up for just the ones you want, or you can be crazy and go for all 8 hours like we are. And when you sign up for that, you'll get a link to join. But more importantly, if something comes up, if you can't make that session live, when you register for that session, you will then be assured of getting an email with the recording after it's done. So that's why it's like so important that we're saying sign up for whatever sessions you're interested in, because those are going to be not only access to watch live, but also send you a recording of the session. So that's how we're going to, do the actual videos. During each session, not this warm up and not necessarily the wrap up, we will be live tweeting on Twitter. We will be sharing some of the insights that the panelists and the hosts are going to be sharing. We're going to be engaging with you, but most importantly, we're going to be sharing the questions and want to have a conversation on Twitter with you. So if you're running around and you can't really watch the video live and you want to participate in the chat that we're having, jump on Twitter, follow us at CONEDUAD, that's Connected Educator Appreciation Day, and you can watch us there. The hashtag we're using today is hashtag CEduAD. And if you can tweet with that, people will be able to find your tweets. They'll be able to talk with you and engage with you. So we'll have a whole conversation happening on Twitter too. And do not forget that, that we have an Instagram account that hasn't been that active, but thanks to Cassie, we are going to have it active today. And you can go over there, and that too is CONEDUAD, and you can follow us over there. And do not forget, we have an amazing website that was created by the other two people, Vladka and Michael in here, that has a blog that if you sign up and become a member on the site, you can actually contribute there as well. And Vladka has wrote a very interesting post that I saw this morning. I don't know if that came through last night or this morning, but but if you read that, I think it will really give you a good frame of mind for what to expect today, but not only today, what it means moving forward and after today, because even though this is going to be an annual event, it's going to become much more than that. So with that, I am going to shut up. I am going to turn it over to Michael. I am going to drop off of here because I need to get in our next session, which Vladka is going to be hosting with Ian, and get that one set up with all the panelists to make sure we got everybody in there. So I'm going to hand it over to Michael. Michael, you can introduce yourself, share your thoughts, anything else, round out the hour for us, and I will get the other one started at 10 p.m. Eastern time here.
I'll just give my 2 cents worth too and why I got involved. And I think the biggest part for me was Cassie and Vladka. Over the summertime, I had the great pleasure of taking part in a session on EdChange Global. Well, I thought it was going to be a session. I planned to to present on reporting to parents and how important it was to talk first or communicate first or build relationships before having that job of writing down how well their son or daughter has done over the course of the year. Well, it turns out, what was it, 15 or 16 sessions I attended? After all, it was quite a few. But I couldn't stop because it was so pertinent, so relevant for today's world and today's learners and today's educators that I was hearing from different people in different places without any fear of backlash. People spoke, people contradicted, people shared, and they learned, and it was real. It wasn't a case of what do they want me to say or how should I respond to this because I'm not sure they'll like what I have to say. And it was just open, and it was that openness and that freedom I think that I felt. And I'm allowed to say this because I think this is right. I don't have to worry about the person responding to me because one, there was a sense of freedom. There wasn't a person looking over my shoulder. There wasn't a person saying, I'm going to get you money for saying that. And for some teachers, for many teachers, that fear is almost always present in the school, which is really sad. What I wanted to go forward with after this, and again, as I mentioned, it was a big person for planting this idea about why don't we connect schools more? Why don't we connect schools more in the UK? So I'm here in Scotland, Cassie's across in Texas, Tim is in Florida, and Vladka, who is there, from Croatia. So it's quite a lovely international sort of team we have for organizing this. The idea that William Jenkins put forward was that schools in Scotland weren't particularly connected. And he wanted to see more examples of how kids and how their teachers can link up and learn from each other. So why not do this? Skype in the classroom was a big start for me. And it's wonderful how Skype in the classroom allowed us to go beyond our classroom walls. The only difficulty I'd say for me is going back to those four walls. Once you break free of that school, of that environment of in a room with a bell at the end of your lessons, it's really hard to go back to that mindset of being isolated in your room. So I would challenge you, as I had to challenge myself, to keep the connections going. When you go back to your school, don't stop. Don't stop learning. I see connectedness as a sort of Pandora's box. And when you open that box, you can't get those things back inside again. You've learned things you can't unlearn. You've seen things and experienced things you can't get rid of it. And that's good. I really see it as a very good thing to not be able to go back to who you were before you have this new experience. take that for the learners with whom you work. Take it for your colleagues with whom you work. At your break time, your lunch after school time, your PD. It's important that you grow because of this. You can't then think, okay, I've done that part, take my box, I don't have to see it again. That's not the purpose of this here today. We're here to learn. I'm here to learn. I mean, I have some things to say, sure, but I'm not going to talk most of the time. This is my time to talk now, I guess you could say. Like Tim said before, I have one session to host and one I'm supporting as a panelist. But even then, my time for talking is going to be minimal compared to my time for listening and learning. Let's all go forward with our professionalism in a goal to listen first and speak later. Some reading I did a little while ago by some leaders in the field of management and leadership was, when I go to a meeting now, I don't give my ideas first. When I go for a meeting, and by listening, it allows others, it encourages others to be confident that what they're saying is being listened to. I've had many times in staff meetings in schools where the head teacher or the principal comes in and says their vision for the school year, for the month, for whatever strategy or initiative we have, and it shuts everyone up. I think if more leaders in schools went into a meeting and did not first, but allowed others to be confident and allowed others to share their thoughts about what they think or what they've experienced or what they have felt in the past, what worked and what didn't work, it would inform the leader that maybe their goal is a bit narrow. It would also inform the leader they've got some smart staff. And these smart, confident staff, when given the opportunity and the freedom to present without already having some sort of narrow road on which to walk, you'll get so much more from the thoughts in your team than you would if you had first off said, this is my benchmark, so if your idea fits in there, great, go ahead and share. If it doesn't, you probably shouldn't say, or you decided anyway. Without sharing that goal that the leadership has at the beginning, but then the leader has a time over the course of meetings or over a term, saving that idea the leadership had allows your team to express themselves. That's the important part. That's what I would say. Do you want to say anything else, Cassie, too, with regard to things you've done in the past with Change Global? Because I think, again, for you to say something about that would be ideal for those who are here and who haven't heard about it. Not to sell it, but just to let others be aware there are other online virtual events that are collaborative like yours.
Well, let me just say that everything you were just saying, like, I'm getting chills over here, because just hearing you say that and like putting it so elegantly, like that's exactly what, you know, our goal is as a team here, but then also through Change Global, which is another event that is similar to this in many ways with, and you know, like Michael said, it just gives people an opportunity to share what it's kind of free reign. So whatever you want to share that's relevant in education, you know, it's a time for you to do that. So Change Global has been around for 5 years now, and we normally have our really large 24-hour, as opposed to a 24-hour event in the summer, and so it will be in July of next year again. So Change Global is an opportunity to connect, like I said, sort of like this, where we have sessions each hour, but we use multiple tools, so multiple platforms. And again, much like this, it just gives you an opportunity to share what's going on and learn from each other throughout the day. So it's another way to connect, but another exciting thing is that we are going to be ramping things up, changing things around as the year goes on. So Michael has already been working very hard with myself and then one of our other colleagues as well on another event. So it'll actually be next weekend. It'll just be 1 hour. But if you guys check out the hashtag #ECGlobal on Twitter or on Instagram, and I believe we'll also use that hashtag on Facebook, then you'll be able to find out about that event. So not to talk about it too much, but if you enjoy what you see today and the connections that you make and you want to continue them, as Michael said, I love how you said, once you get connected, you can't go back. Like, why would you want to? But you can't. Like, you just can't unhave those experiences. So you'll want to keep building connections and, you know, continue to learn throughout.
One more thing to point out too, and I know I spoke about how we want this to happen for educators and how leadership and management can be supportive of this growth mindset, I guess you'd say, within the school. We must never forget the learners. And the learners in our class are in an environment now which was not available for me. And I'm 43. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, where we lived in Stranger Times world. That was our life. It's looking back at that show is like, oh my God, I dressed like that. I had that T-shirt or something. This is wild. But it's also the case that nowadays kids are thinking differently. Kids have different ways of learning and ways of communicating. And if we stick with our 20th century ideas of education for the kids who are in school today, we're going to fail them for the future. We have to, model this idea about connecting with others so that the kids can do it too, but do it safely. So we're not going to be doing some and show them to the kids. We're going to be doing it safely and with moderation so that they can see, oh, they're not just liking everyone. They're not just following everyone. That would be a bit inappropriate to show kids. We need to know these people. We're reading about them before we're joining up with them. We're researching them even before we're deciding to go to their posts and go to their pages. It's that a bit, I guess, caution a bit, forward thinking, that we need to model for kids because they do have phones. My kids now are starting to get more technologically literate with their Gmail accounts and soon their Facebook pages and things like that. Of course, they have Discord now, which is something else again entirely. But it's this, before they got that, they knew what it meant. Before they got that, they knew how to use it safely. We have to show learners how we are using things safely in the classroom, and we have to use it. So we can't just say, oh, go do it this way. We have to show them how we use it. And it's that modeling which will strengthen for them the bonds for the learning, which again is what we have to do. It's what leadership will do for us as educators. It's what we'll do for learners to expand their worlds more too.
Well,
anyway.
and to that point, I know we have to wrap up soon, but I also wanted to mention this because it's been something that it's a goal of mine in all of this, like why I'm doing this, is that I love being connected with all of you who are here today and all of our EdChange Global people and that. But my goal is to show how these kinds of events connect people, educators, and encourage other people who are not connected to join in. So what my challenge to you today is, you know, if you're in a space where you're not alone at home like we are, go out and show other people what you're doing. Show them the tweets and things like that, and get other people involved that are not necessarily connected, because that's where we need to go with this, is how to take this experience and push or encourage other teachers that aren't connected or are fearful of using these technologies, how they can use them in a positive way and put them in a positive space in these events and things like that, because I know that's an area that we really have not tapped into, is unconnected people. So we have to go out there and reach them and encourage them to join in these events as well. So, and I really like how you guys mentioned this is a safe space, and that's really important for people to feel comfortable throughout the day. So with that, I'm going to jump off because I know Vladka's session with Ian is starting now, but Michael, anything else before we go?
No, I think that's all good. If you come along and see this session here on Facebook, you'll likely see I've stuck a link in there for joining up with the session from Vladka and Ian. That's for joining up to watch and to listen. You'll within these sessions to chat to the panelists and the hosts. And what I'll be doing in the background, because I'm not taking part in this one at all, I'll be following the chat and I'll be following on Twitter to see how things are going and keep feeding back to Vladka, Ian, and the panelists so we can keep a fluid sort of back and forth here. Session now so that everyone, Joseph and Stella, I can see your attendees just now. Hopefully you'll click on the link there and hook up with Ian and Vladka. And I forget actually if you are panelists. If you are, I'll see you there. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.